Hi,
Come on.
everyone.
Well,
Hi, hey,
Jackie.
Sal.
Hello.
Hey, hi, Michaela. Hi, Isis. Hey, it's
Hello.
like reading Rainbow. Hi, Jim. Hi, Angie. Does anyone remember that? The reading Rainbow or the teacher comes in? Or Romper Room. Sorry, Romper Room. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Is everybody able to unmute themselves? Because my system here is set up with some, I just want to make sure that I don't need to give people permission to do anything. Okay. Is everyone's good? Okay, great. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. And my name is Jackie. Can everyone see my SBI framework with my body double?
It says it's paused.
Oh, okay, oh, that's a good thing. That means I have to record it. How about now?
You're good to go.
Great. This is my body double. They call her Jackie version 2.0. So, anyway, thank you everyone for joining my SBI framework. And, you know what? Give me just a second because I need to see my notes. All right. So I wanted to welcome everybody and just kind of tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Jackie. I am in sales and just, during COVID went back to college, junior college, and now I'm going for my bachelor's in leadership. And, just want to say that everyone has been great to work with. And sorry, let me admit more people. Okay. Everyone's great to work with in this cohort. So thank you for joining. And I just wanted to see if we could start off by introducing ourselves, super basic, just like name, what you do. And then the other thing I wanted to know is if anyone is actually currently in a leadership role or like a manager or supervisor, just so I know who my audience is. So let's start with Jane.
I'm sorry, what was the question again? I kind of zoned out for
The
a second.
question is name, what do you do, and are you in a role of a leader or manager or supervisor?
Um, well, in the past, I have been in the role of a manager or supervisor. Right now, I'm just a full-time student, but in the past, I worked as a low voltage technician for 7.5 years. So I have a lot of experience both taking orders all day and then like being in charge of people that are kind of new to construction and just kind of working with them as they learn and getting to watch people grow over time and like getting to teach them like how to work construction. So
That's
that's
great.
what I've done.
Great. Thanks, James. We'll
Thanks.
go with Tracy. Yeah, we'll go to Tracy next.
Hi, right now I own my own yoga business. I'm a yoga teacher, and then I am also on the board of directors for PS Test. It's a confidential, free sexual transmitted infection clinic here in Palm Springs. So that's
Okay,
definitely a leadership role, and I'm one of the outfront faces of their women's movement, and we're going to start getting pap smears there too. So it's a really big deal.
that's great. That's great. Thanks, Tracy. And let's go to Michaela.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michaela. Right now, I am full-time student, but then on the side, I sell jewelry and clothing that I upcycle. Um, I was supervisor for 1 year, like 5 years ago, but then after that, I switched positions, switched roles. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. Hi, Liz. We can hear from you next.
Hi everyone, I'm Liz. I'm currently in HR and I have been in lead positions as well as senior positions. So senior HR analyst and lead data entry and all that before. Not your traditional supervisor manager, but I have overseen individuals.
Great. Great. Okay, let's go over to Angie. Hey, Angie.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I've been in hotels, hospitality for over 20 years. I've been in a sales manager role for over 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That's fun. Okay, let's move over to Jim Thomas.
Yeah, Jim Thomas here. I work for the City of Eureka's Community Services Department as a community services supervisor, so definitely a role in a lot of leadership. On any given season, it could be as few as 40 employees and volunteers that I supervise and up to over 100. So it's pretty much like an episode of the show Parks and Rec, if you're familiar, is what my life looks like on the daily. Also president of a board for Pack Out Green Team, which is a volunteer-led organization that picks up trash off of public spaces.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Jim. And let's go to Sal.
Yes. So I'm Sal. I work for a nonprofit organization in San Francisco. We provide meals for people with illnesses such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and HIV, to name some. And I am in the management position. I am the manager of information systems, and I am part of the leadership team.
Great. Thanks, Sal. And Selena? Hi, Selena.
Hi, I'm Selena. I am the office manager at the Yurok Travel Court on the Yurok Reservation. I've been in my position for about 3 years. I've started on the very bottom and worked my way to the top. I also am a secretary for a nonprofit that our judge has created, and so I deal with like the bookkeeping and financials and checks and stuff like that. So I do oversee about 30 people in my area as well. So
Oh, that's great, Selena. Thank you. And Dee?
Hi, I'm Dee Ward. I'm currently officially retired. But in my past position, thank you. In my past position that I just left in the Bay Area, I was a facilities manager and I oversaw a staff of maybe 5 people, mostly people of color. And actually pretty proud of that because I was the first person of color in that position, and then I was able to bring others on board. But just thankful to have had an opportunity to work with those folks, and it was an awesome team to work with.
Great. Sounds good, Dee. And Claudia. Hey, Claudia.
I came in a little a minute late, but I missed your question.
The question is just a brief introduction, name, what you do, and if you are or have held in the past a role of leadership or supervisor, manager.
Sorry. So yes, so my name is Claudia. I currently hold a position as a department assistant for Bakersfield College. In the past, I was a human resources manager for over 6 years. I oversaw more than 370 employees. I worked for a construction company, so we were pretty big. So yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of employees, Claudia. Thank you. And let's go to Jess. Hey, Jess.
Hi everyone, I'm Jess Ventura. I work at UC Merced and I'm the graduate recruitment manager. So I do the marketing for all 17 of our grad programs and then outreach to prospective students. I do have one direct report and then a student. So I guess I manage, but it's a very small team. So yeah, happy to be here.
Thank you. And Isis. Hey, Isis.
Hey, how are you? Hi, everybody. Yeah, I've had some previous experiences with management in the nonprofit and with the Buddhist organization, and then in the private sector with a 4-century-old Japanese company in their tech department. My favorite was the volunteer training, so that was a lot going through that and onboarding. So I feel like that was a lot to learn. And then currently right now I'm a full-time student. So I am trying to put 100% here while still doing artwork and doing my side businesses. So hi, everybody.
Thank you. So I just want to say congratulations to everyone. I mean, these roles I'm not a manager. I'm not a supervisor. I do have a leadership role. And I kind of wanted to go into that because it is why I chose this topic. But I do want to say congratulations on all of your achievements to this group that we have here. I mean, you guys are doing some extremely interesting work for the environment, for others, for people in need, people that are sick, people in construction. I mean, you guys are really doing a great job. So I just want to say congratulations on that. And so with that being said, let's move on to my presentation here. So the reason this is called SBI Framework, the reason that I selected this is because I did get into I was selected for a leadership role. I didn't sign up for it, but I felt that if I was selected, then maybe they saw something, some sort of potential in me that I could do this. So I've taken on a leadership role for my employee group, my employee advisory group at my place of employment. My company does aerospace and simulation. So we work with driving simulation for neurological, head injuries and people to get back on the road, and also parachute simulation for military and special operation forces. And then we also are in the aerospace realm as well. So my group of people is very diverse, and everybody is very well educated there. Most have PhDs. I am working on my bachelor's. So it's interesting that I feel comfortable talking to this group and leading them in our employee group. And the employee group basically brings attention to anything in our company. So if we want to have a party, if we want to get a table in our break room, if we want to put a TV in our break room, if we want to, anything that has to do with any kind of company changes, I lead that group. So that's kind of cool. So the reason I chose this is because I do have to speak with other people and I want to learn and grow. And because I've never really been a manager, I've never had to have anyone I've never had to look over other people or manage anybody. So to me, this is all new. And so I kind of want to just improve some things in leadership. So introduction to SBI. Basically, this is a powerful tool. It's very simple. So we're probably going to get this down by slide 3. It's developed from the Center for Creative Leadership. It's called CCL. And at the end of my presentation, I also have a link to their website. If you guys haven't visited that website, it's very informative. It has great tools, great articles about leadership. So I actually really liked it and learned a lot. So they developed this SBI framework, which is basically understanding a situation, observing a behavior, and then discussing the impact that it had to the team, for example. So the reason for this is when you are a leader and you observe certain behavior and it needs to be addressed, how do you go about doing that, right? So they feel like this is the most basic and straightforward way to address that with your team. So let's talk about what is SBI. What does it stand for? So situation, behavior, and impact. So situation is really just setting the stage for where this activity took place, when it took place. So you want to make sure you have that down. Behavior is what you observed. So when you talk about the behavior, you want to make sure that you are talking about observations and not opinions. And I think that's a very important part of this whole SBI framework. So in the next slide, we're going to kind of talk about the differences and see if we can determine one from the other, because it is a little bit tricky. And then the third one is impact. So impact is, how did the behavior impact the team or the meeting, wherever the situation took place? What was the impact of it? So it's super simple. Situation, where it took place, behavior, what took place, what did you observe, and impact, how did it affect the team? Okay, so observation versus opinion. So observations are concrete actions or verifiable facts, and opinions are subjective judgments or your interpretations of something. So I've listed 4 different statements, and I'm just gonna, if anybody wants to take a jab at number 1 and kind of let us know if that's an observation or an opinion. If not, I will go over my. Okay, so you constantly go above and beyond by exceeding your quarterly goals and delivering high quality work. So this is actually a opinion. And the reason it's an opinion, and the reason that it's an opinion is because there is no way for you to measure going above and beyond. So there's no concrete data, right? So that's why that statement is considered an opinion. Your work is always finished on time. That is an observation, right? Because oh, I'm sorry. You guys have your hands up. I'm so sorry. Your work is always finished on time. So that's concrete data, and you can actually measure that. Okay. So Isis, I'm going to let you take the next one. Your positive attitude. Sorry.
I got the first one wrong. leave it to retail to make you feel inferior, you know.
I got it wrong too, Isis. I was like, oh, that's a fact.
But it's relative to what? So
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell that to every retail person now. Like, no. So you have just armored me. Thank you. Your positive attitude, not measurable already off the bat. So it's an opinion.
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. And the last one, let's take Jim Thomas.
Customer feedback surveys consistently rate your service as excellent is an observation. That is something that you can go see, that the rating is excellent.
That's right. That's right. And you know, everybody, I also, like I said, these are tricky, and that's why I brought them up and made it its own slide, because when you are discussing this with your peers or your team, you want to make sure that what you are observing is actually an observation and not just your opinion, right? So that's why I wanted to kind of go over those specifics. All right, so let's move to the next one. Okay, so this is going to be a sharing slide. We all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. That's from Bill Gates. So my question is does anyone want to share if you've ever received feedback, and like what your first initial response was to that? Like in oh, Liz. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So what first popped to mind was I received feedback, and I thought it was in the coolest way, actually. It was a 360 evaluation. So basically, my coworkers and my immediate supervisor plus other supervisors gave me feedback. So I was able to pick 10 individuals and kind of send out a survey to them to ask them how they thought I was doing, you know. And it was, for me, it was reaffirming, I guess, because I always try to go above and beyond for my work. I want to make sure that what I'm doing impacts others in a positive way. And then sometimes I wasn't sure if I was or wasn't, if my message was being delivered or how they were receiving it, I guess I should say. Right. And to see their responses back and affirm what I was trying to do, it made such an impact, such a bigger impact, I guess, on my work. I already felt like I was, you know, being consistent and going above and beyond whenever I could. But seeing that kind of fueled me a little bit more. So I thought that was really awesome. And yeah, so I'm excited because we're going to be introducing 360 evaluations at my workplace soon too. So it's something always, you know, it's an eye opener for sure.
You know what, Liz? If you can send me the information, because I mean, again, I'm in the leadership group, so it'd be interesting to maybe take a look at that and see if it's something that my company could implement. It sounds like you're getting great feedback from a lot of different people. So thank you.
Of course.
Okay, and James Chapman.
Yeah, I heard you.
Oh.
I screen switched and I couldn't find myself to unmute. Okay, so my first experience with feedback in the professional sense was when I was probably 18, 19. I was working as a low voltage tech, and my boss came up with and said he had constructive criticism for me. He said I was doing a really good job, but my attention to detail was poor. So my attention to detail got better as time went on, luckily. But
and curious, how did that make you feel when he told you that?
I didn't like it. Like I thought I was doing great work, but I was missing little things, like little details that were getting often overlooked. And like customers would call and I'd have to like talk them through how to do something really quick. And like my boss didn't like it. So in the end, I had to learn to just slow things down a little bit and try to just pay attention to little things, and like even using a checklist helps some. Like if you know everything you're going to do and you have a checklist of like the small things, especially because the small things in like telecom often are the easiest to overlook.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Great. Thanks, James. I agree with you. When I got my feedback, I think it's just kind of natural to kind of feel some sort of defensive-ness from hearing that you're not doing something right or you need to work at, in certain areas. So I understand that. Sal?
Yes, I just wanna share that I have the same experience as Liz, So I probably didn't say this before, but I'm in the IT department. So I have to be troubleshooting, helping end users with, all computer related things. But one of the things that I want to reassure is that they are receiving the customer service that they're, kind of expecting from me, and it's always good to know that they're happy. They don't really have negative comments. But also I have the same experience as James as well, because one time I was asking for, feedback or something like that from my boss, and they say, well, you need to be more detail oriented on these things that you're doing. Initially, I took it like, what? And I was thinking like, I'm super good at that, right? But it's a process of learning, to really, now I'm more open, and whatever the people say, I always take it on the good side because it's going to help me to be better. That's
right. Thanks, Sal. Exactly. And Isis?
Dee, do you want to go first? I know you've been waiting longer than I.
I actually do, because mine's a little longer. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
My hand is brown on the screen, and so you can't really see it. I'm noticing that.
Thank you for pointing that out.
I think I will change the color back too.
No, you don't have to.
No, not for y'all. I think that's something that I need to just note for the future. But listen, okay, so there's a things such as positive feedback and negative feedback. I recently shared a story with you, Jackie, about some negative feedback that I received when I was younger. I think I stated it to you over the weekend when we were talking. And when I was younger, I was a kid. I had a teacher told me that I didn't read well, and that was negative. That was negative feedback as a child. And when you're looking at an authoritative figure that tells you, what you're not doing well, but then also not helping you improve in that capacity, but they're just using their position to be able to tell you how you're doing poorly. That in fact turned into something that made it for me to not like school. Fast forward, I had a supervisor that was that was very helpful in giving me some positive feedback. And she actually made me read out loud contracts in the legal department, and I was reading really long contracts. But as a result of doing that, it just helped me to improve my reading out loud skills, my reading skills, and just giving me some feedback to help me grow as an individual. And as a result, that helped me to be a better student. And has now helped me to empower me to just be a better individual as it relates to doing school and things of that nature, but just in leadership capacities, because I know the difference between positive feedback and negative feedback, but the way you deliver is everything. And so delivering means a lot to the individual that you're leading, or the individual that you're working with, or your colleagues and so forth. And so, I appreciate this statement that Bill Gates provides, but it's all in the delivery and in the best way to be able to empower an individual to be their best selves. So, that's my story.
Yeah. And I agree. I mean, when I was doing this framework presentation, it felt very robotic to me, like state this and state that. And I thought, I would like a little bit more like friendliness, a little bit more empathy. And I realized that just because you're using the SBI framework doesn't mean you cannot have empathy and you cannot be kind about it. It doesn't have to be like robotic. So I agree with you. It is definitely in delivery. And I'm going to go ahead and move on because I think I'm running a little bit out of time here. Thank you all for sharing. Okay, so I'm just going to go over this real quick because I'm running out of time here. But the benefits of SBI is overall enhanced communication. It's creating a safe space for you to feel like you can have open dialogue with your teammates, your leadership. By being clear about what the expectations are, you both are heading for the same goal. And then also positive reinforcement is also motivating. Like you said, Sal, once you get that positive feedback, you start to, change and improve. Or maybe it was James that said that. But yeah, positive feedback is also part of the SBI framework. So it's not always negative. Okay. So I'm going to give an example here, and if somebody wants to chime in and maybe kind of like role play or say how you would address this situation. So imagine you're in a meeting and you look up while someone's discussing revenue figures and you see this, and you observe this individual on his cell phone for about 70% of the meeting. How would you use the SBI framework to address this? Does anybody want to try? It's okay. Okay, so what we could say, does anyone have a hand up? Okay, just want to make sure. So what we could say is, hey, Stephen.
Tracy had her hand up.
I'm sorry.
Tracy had her hand up.
Tracy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I would compliment Sam with shit. That's always my go-to. And I would say, I really appreciate you being in the meeting, but I just want to check in and make sure that maybe was that call something that was really, really important that needed to be dealt with right then? Or do you think that was something that could possibly wait until after the meeting? Because we need your attention focused in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would try to leave out, because otherwise we wouldn't have invited you into the room if we didn't want you to pay attention. I would try to leave that out. Because the snotty part of me would probably want to say that if somebody spent 70% of the meeting ignoring someone.
Right. And I mean, I guess if it's a one-off, yes, that's a great approach. But if you find this guy is in the meetings constantly and he's always on his phone and he needs, a little chat with.
Like check in, make sure it's not something that's like, it was my son's school or it was the doctor's office, or, check in, make sure it wasn't something like, where it's like, okay, no worries.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. I did not think of that. I just thought this was a repeat offender and it's time to have a talk. But you're right. You never know what people are going through. And if it is a one-off or if this doesn't happen often, it's great to have that approach and say, is everything okay? So thanks, Tracy. If we are using the SBI framework, I would say something like, hey, Tom, during the staff meeting today, I noticed that you were on your cell phone during the revenue meetings. And because of that, we were not, the speaker was distracted by you, you know. This is letting him know where it took place, what the observation was, and the impact it had on the meeting. Again, these things are very basic. So, it's just something that they're little samples that we can, if you experience it, kind of ways to address it. So let's say this guy is a repeat offender and you're in a handoff meeting for an installation project overseas and you're discussing the delivery and you realize that your project manager isn't replying. And this is why. If you are his manager, how would you have a conversation with him using the SBI framework? Let's make sure that I am explaining the SBI framework first. Like, does everybody get it? Does everybody understand? Okay. Because I want to make sure that I've explained it. So let's just say in this example, we would say, hey, Tom, during the meeting today, a very important installation meeting for a project overseas, we had asked you about delivery and we realized that you weren't replying, you were sleeping. And because of that, it delayed, us moving forward in this meeting. So again, SBI, situation, behavior, and impact.
And it could also be indicated that he was a distraction to other people, because look at the young lady sitting next to him. She's like, she's clearly looking at him, seeing that he's asleep, and she can't be paying attention to the meeting because she's observing that he's asleep.
Exactly. There's the impact. There could be multiple impacts or more than one impact. Sometimes maybe more than one behavior. This guy maybe earlier could have been cutting off, a coworker of his, and that's another behavior that we could address. So again, just want to simple form. We'll go through this real quick. It's not a sample or anything. It's basically just that with SBI, we also have positive feedback. So this is the situation. You say last week we were finalizing the client presentation. You took the initiative to reorganize the slides, added supporting data, and made sure that the visuals aligned with the message. The impact was that the presentation looked polished and professional, and the client was noticeably impressed. You really elevated the quality of the delivery. So we want to make sure we're not always just pointing out the negatives, because like having positive reinforcement, as Liz mentioned, when you leave, you just feel good. And I think I even mentioned that. I have it in one of the slides, that when you do get positive feedback, you really do go home in a good mood, right? So we want to make sure that we are always acknowledging the positive as well, and not just the negative in this. So I'm just going to leave this up here. Again, it's just a sample of a positive feedback situation. Great job leading that team. Thanks for setting the agenda, objectives, and assigning clear actions. As you can see, the behavior that contributed to the situation is clearly identified. Thanks, that means a lot. And then the impact, your effort kept us on track and in sync. It was organized and made me feel energized for the project. I'd love to see all of our meetings like this. Glad you noticed that. That guy went home happy, right? So again, positive feedback in addition, using the SBI framework. Some of the challenges in SBI feedback are emotional reactions. I mean, I'm a very emotional person. If I hear feedback, I might, feel a certain way. I might get defensive. Not might. I have in the past. I've gotten defensive. I've kind of felt depressed, like I'm not doing things right. But the longer I work, the more I realize that the feedback is for improvement and it's to help me grow. So I don't feel that anymore. I try and take it as, like you said, constructive criticism and try and grow from that so I can better support my team and be a better team player all around. So vague descriptions also cause confusion. As you can see, this guy's super confused. If you are not clear with your feedback, like James, you're not detail oriented enough. Okay, what does that mean? Where did I miss the mark? You know, be clear with your feedback. That's important. And so key takeaways from SBI: it provides structured approach to delivering effective feedback. It enhances communication and strengthens your relationship with your teams. And ongoing practice of the framework fosters leadership, growth, and team development. So this is how SBI framework within leadership works and emphasizes growth. So my final slide is the resources. So if you guys want to take a look, this is the website I was talking about that actually developed the SBI framework, the Center for Creative Leadership. It's got great information on there. And then these are some other websites that I use to gather my information. Does anybody have any questions? No. Yay. Well, thank you all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for listening. And I hope you all have a great night. Thank you so much.
Awesome
Thank
job,
you,
Jackie.
Jackie.
Woo!
Thanks,
Good
guys.
job.
Good job, Jackie.
Thank you,
Good job,
guys.
Jackie.
Thank you,
Thank
Jackie.
Have a good
you.
Thank you,
night.
guys.
Good job.
Kudos.
Good
Okay,
job,
have a good
Jackie.
night, everyone.
Good
Bye.
night, everyone. Y'all have a blessed evening.
Bye.
Bye bye.